Meanwhile, the armed forces said a Philippine aircraft carrying soldiers crashed in July after an unrecoverable stall, killing more than 50 people and one of the country's worst military air disasters. The C-130 Hercules transport plane was loaded with nearly 100 people, most of them fresh Army graduates, when it overshot the runway while trying to land on the southern island of Jolo in Sulu province. Most of the dead were soldiers being deployed to the island, a haven for Islamist militants. As part of a counter-insurgency effort, dozens were injured. Based on the investigating team's report, no single factor can be attributed to have exclusively caused the accident, according to the Armed Forces of the Philippines in a statement. The aircraft component, the environmental condition, and aircrew response led to an unrecoverable stall in a critical phase of the aircraft operation, it also said, without providing details. Armed Forces spokesman Colonel Ramon Zagala told AFP a component failure triggered a light that caused the pilots to concentrate on that instead of recovering the stall or doing the turnaround. The plane stalled after losing thrust and lift at low altitude. Usually, you can recover a stall if you have altitude, if you're up or if you're way up, but in this case, it doesn't have altitude, according to Zagala, without specifying which part of the aircraft failed. National Defense Delfin Lorenzana told a congressional committee hearing he had been informed the crash was caused by a confluence of many events, and they included defective instruments or systems, plus, of course, the reaction of the pilot was not also appropriate for the emergency, he said Wednesday. The military said previously the C-130 was in very good condition when it crashed in sunny weather. Witnesses and survivors told investigators shortly after the crash that the plane landed hard and then bounced twice before taking off again, according to Lieutenant General Corleto Vinluan, then chief of the Western Mindanao Command, told AFP days after the crash. Then at the right side of the airport, it hit a tree. And that's the account of the injured, according to Vinluan. At least 3 civilians who were not on the flight were also killed as the plane plowed through coconut trees and houses. C-130s have been the workhorses of air forces around the world for decades, used to transport troops, supplies, and vehicles.